welcome to a new episode of Dwarf Talk. I am especially pumped for this one because it means that when you see this, you are probably able to play the game. And it is the first big season we've ever had for a game, and it is lasting for like 5 days. And we have not had such a test before, so I'm super excited to have multi-day testing for the first time, and which the main point of this is that it will allow us to get a sense of the progression on all the different systems that allows that, such as perks and crafting and challenges and basically a lot of systems. This is going to be really exciting, and especially to see like how fun is it for many days basically. And what I'll talk a little bit about today is basically the patch notes and what we have done for the extension of this version of the game since last time. A couple of you tested the very first test in June. It was like 4 or 5 hours, but what we are doing now is 5 days. And the delta here is what we're going to talk about. A huge thing is the character reworks. Every single character here has had a huge rework. This is to improve them in terms of mastery, to make them deeper, to get this sense that, okay, I just realized that I can alternate in a different way between Q and W, and then I can punch out a lot of bullets. Let me see if I can even remember how to do it here. So I need to apply a free stack and hit there, bam, and you'll kind of get that sense that you can actually do a lot of mastery here. But you have to balance energy and frost stacks on an enemy to actually pull those combos off. And this is the type of depth that we want on a lot of the characters, so you kind of feel there's a constant stream of things that you need to improve, because that usually a deep game usually makes a very interesting game in long term. So that is one of the things that we want to achieve, and I'm excited to hear what you think. We have had small character tests where it seemed very positive. I went through that in the last Dwarf Talk, but let us know you're a lot more players this time than there. Now, another huge thing that we have done is the addition of the Dragon Vault. So the game's lore is about the Dragon Vault, and this is like a key thing to get into the game, and we're excited to have the first installment of that in this version. The Dragon Vault is a thing that you can only get access to through the team mode. So also note that we now have a button here to select between 2 different modes. One is solo play, where you will only meet other solo players, and one is group play, where you can meet teams in up to 3-player teams. Yeah. What we want to achieve with adding Dragon Vault to the game is that this is like the ultimate challenge. This is where you can find the sickest bosses, the craziest loot, and overall the highest threat. So even going down there is high threat, and it's supposed to be like a tense session where you reduce the likelihood of you extracting successfully. So you are taking a bigger risk if you decide to go down there. It's up to you. And we are excited to see what you think about that, and if you think that it achieves what we want from it. Now, another thing we have is challenges. Challenges has been reworked in the way that there's a lot of tiers now. Notice down here in the bottom that it is, let me see if I can remove my face, but down here there is a scroll path. So you can scroll between the different challenge tiers. This will probably be going on forever in one of the later versions of the game. But the intention here is that we have made so many tiers that nobody will really reach tier 10. And part of that is also that we want to use this as player recognition. Once you're done with the first 3 tiers or so, all the challenges start becoming really hard. That means if you see another player who has a high challenge tier, which is displayed right here, they're probably pretty good at the game. And this is also what we feel is important for competitive games and social games, that you have some type of recognition that you can show to other players, and they can recognize your achievements, especially in terms of skill. That is why we want the challenges to feel like skill challenges and not so much quests. But personally, I find this as very exciting to try off instead of just the typical ladder grind of PvP matches. So curious to hear what you think about that when you get your hands on it. Let me take one final feature here. It is one of the things that I personally led. The way that we work at Beta Dwarf is that we have feature leads who kind of lead different features into the milestone. And I was responsible, for instance, for the happenings, as we call them. and that means that we will have 3 new happenings. One of them is something that you can get here called the drill, and you will have to find a place to put the drill in the game. And what we want to achieve from happenings is that when you interact with an happening, it is exciting for other players than just you, but it's also exciting for you. So that means, for instance, the drill, if you place that, it's kind of exciting for you because you can get super nice materials from it, but everybody else in the map is made aware that you are doing this now, so that also adds excitement to the others. Similarly, we have a train, we call it the choo-choo train, and you can find that in the matches as well. And it is supposed to give this feeling that if you're a clever player, you can hear the audio, and if it starts saying choo-choo and so on, you know that somebody else is kind of interacting with it. This makes an opportunity for you to go there as well and intervene or help them or whatever you want to do. And also the train is moving a lot, so if people want to take it down, they might have to cross a lot of terrain, and this increases the chances that you will interact with other players. And sometimes maybe those players will help you take it down and fight for the loot afterwards, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Or sometimes you may even cooperate fully, or you might kill the others who are trying to do it. So it's kind of these diplomacy wars that we also want to have out of the PvP experience, because you are not necessarily always enemies, and this creates deeper gameplay in our view, and that's what we also want to incentivize. So there's always like, what are the others going to do? Because it's less obvious when it is free for all and not just PvP against each other. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this episode. I hope that you will enjoy all the new things, going deep in the crafting, checking out the perk journey, enjoying the extended storage you have, going through the challenges, trying out the different characters here. But yeah, you will have all these things up here. You can also check the social menu, you can add friends, and you can find the lobbies. So yeah, have a good time, and see you on the battlefield. Toodaloo.